we need to clear the basic first. Why we need to attend a personal interview? Like they are calling you for a personal interview only after you have successfully completed other pre-interview rounds like CV shortlisting, giving written exams. Then why we are going for an interview? And that is for simple 3 matrices. They wanna know you first. Secondly, they wanna authenticate your knowledge, like all the written examination, CV shortlisting, everything. Do you really know those things? So they wanna authenticate your knowledge. And thirdly, they wanna know that do you have the interest to pursue this job, or do you have interest to their company, so that after they select you, you will be there for a long time. Taking a job interview, it's very simple now. You just need to perform your best in these 3 categories. In this video, I will share my experience, like how I tackle these 3 matrices and I successfully land into a great job. And please don't skip any section. If you want to save your time, you can increase your playback speed to 1.5 or 1.75x. Why? Because somewhere in this video, I'll share the Masterstroke by which you can increase your chance of getting a job by many-fold. So let's start. Hey guys, so I'm Rajdeep, your big bro, and currently I am doing my job with Intel as a CAD engineer. Before I start, please take a deep breath and believe me, this step, the personal interview, is most easiest part of all other process. So please be chill and see this video. So in an interview, interviewer will evaluate you in these 3 sections or metrics continuously. Part 1, as we are talking for Vlsi jobs or any technical job, part 1 is not so important, so we will start from part 2. So in this part, the interviewer want to authenticate your knowledge, like the CV you have created, it is fully authenticated or not. The written examination you have passed, is it really you who have written those answers? And in general, during a campus interview or for freshers, interviewer don't have all the answer which you have given in your written test. So written test, like you have cleared it honestly or dishonestly, don't matter. You can ignore. Written examination you passed, well and good, but your CV is the thing which need to be 100% honest. If you have made your CV 100% honestly, like everything you know in your CV, then trust me, 80% of the work is done. Now your interview will be great, because your CV define the syllabus from where the interviewer will going to ask you question for most of the time. Little deviation here and there, it's okay, but 80% of answer or 90% of answer will come only and only from the syllabus you defined in your CV. So if you have not made your CV yet, see this video. I have explained everything cut and clear, like how you need to make your CV for a great interview day during a Vlsi job interview. And for those of you who don't have time, or you don't have, it is not allowed to alter your CV now, you can't do any edit to your CV before the interview, and you know few point of your CV have some loophole, like you don't know those things 100% clearly, then my dear friend, please before going to the interview, make out some jugaad and clear those loopholes. For example, you have given some project and you have not performed that project by yourself, then try to get someone's help who have already done this project and has the project file ready. So you can go through that project file and somehow you can manage to that loophole. But if you have the time to alter your CV, then don't do that mistake next time. It's very important. Now one important trick, your CV will have some projects, right? Make a list of challenges what you have faced during performing all those projects which you have written on your CV, and what's the conceptual theory you have used to solve that. If you have not faced any challenge in your project, then also try to bring out something and write down and make a list for 3 projects, 3 challenges, or at least for 2 or 1 project, at least few challenges you should have. Now you will ask me, hey Rajdeep, are you an interviewer? How you know that one interviewer will ask you question from challenges? And answer is simple. In our industry, every step every day. Trust me, I am working there. You will face challenge by challenge, and if you don't know how to solve your challenge, then why they will recruit you? So this is a really very common question, that they will take any project, they don't know anything about that project, but they will ask you, hey AYZ, or you tell me you have done this project by yourself, so what are the challenges you have faced during performing this project? Now if they don't ask you for this, but hey, my next point, I'll give you the answer, like how you can make your interviewer ask what you want him or her to ask you. So see, this is called the art of maneuvering your interview. You can trap your interviewer in a domain where you are most confident of, and interviewer will keep on circulating on that domain only. Okay, and as you are expert, you can give all answer very nicely. See how it works. To know it, you need to know the psychology of your interviewer. Your interviewer is a person from last few days, and for next few days also he is taking interview continuously, right? And every day he is taking interview for 5 to 10 people or sometimes 20 people. So it's very normal that many of time he will run out of question, like he don't know what to ask to you. Like for example, he asks what is A, and you have given answer. A is nothing but it's a B, or it's the alphabet of English alphabet. Perfect, and you stop. Then you have nothing to say and you have stopped. Then he need to ask like, okay, I have asked this thing to him. Let me see the CV. Yeah, he done here work. So let me ask this thing. So by this way, what you are doing, you are giving the key of interview to the interviewer, like he is selecting the question for you. But here you can use that trick. For example, you want to give the answer for challenges, like what are the challenges you have faced during a project, and he is not asking you. So like he have asked you somewhere before, like tell me what's the specification of your project. One people will say specification of my project is blah blah blah, and then stop, mute. But if you are intelligent enough, then you will say my project specification are blah blah blah, and I have faced many challenges to achieve this. You got the point? You have brought the keyword challenge, and with that, as he is an interviewer and he is an expert interviewer, and he already has asked many people this question in earlier interview, so in his mind will click, okay, I can ask him this question, like what are the challenges. And the next question, most of the time he will ask you, okay, tell me what are the challenges. So the main topic is that you need to work with keyword. For example, during my time in my internship interview, like I have in my major project, I have worked on many tools like Cadence, then CST, Microwave Studio, and many things. And I was like, from inside I want to show off, like I know Cadence, I know Microwave Studio, but my interviewer is not asking, and he is not interested, I guess, so he's not asking me. And I know in industry these softwares are very valuable thing, like knowledge of this software, and I want to tell him I know this software. So he asked me anywhere that, okay, tell me what's the name of your project or something, major project. Then what I did, yeah, my name of my major project is this, and for achieving this thing I am using Cadence, CST, that, and blah blah blah. And next question was right on top, like, okay, tell me what are the tools you know. Another occasion, like he was asking me some question on analog, like how you design low noise amplifier, and like I was very confident on Smith chart. Those of you are from RF domain, you know what is Smith chart, and I want to answer from Smith chart only, and he was not asking me any question from Smith chart. So he asked me like how you design LNF, not LNF, sorry, it is LNA, low noise amplifier, and I told him like what the answer question he asked. I have answered that question, and then I told him to match the input part I have used the help of Smith chart. Smith chart is a keyword. He know already what is Smith chart. And next question he asked me, okay, you know about Smith chart, tell me what is Smith chart. So like this way, you maximum of time you can maneuver your interview as you want. But please don't overdo this thing. It is little critical. So best way is to go is that For first 10 to 15 minutes, observe your interviewer. If he have many questions on his mind and he is not lacking of questions, then don't use this trick to deviate him from the question he want to ask. Or if your interviewer has many questions and he is bombarding you with the questions and you want to somehow deviate him from some difficult domain to your expert domain, for one time you can do this thing, like try some keyword which will direct from that difficult domain to your expert domain. And in last, like interviewer have not asked you something which you know very well, like for my case it was Smith chart, right? So at that point only for one time you can use this trick, otherwise don't overdo this thing. And by this way, trust me, you will excel your interview. Now we'll talk about part 3, most ignored part. But before that, if I am adding value to your life, please give a like to this video. So in part 3, your interviewer want to know, because interview or the recruitment process is very expensive, and if you go to one job, they don't want you to switch from one job to another job in a year. They want a permanent employee, right? So they want to know, are you really interested to this job or to their company? So what you can do to show that yeah, you have the interest, first of all, go and visit the company website. You know this thing, I know this thing, but we don't use this thing. It is most important before any interview. See what the work they are doing. So now the time for Masterstroke idea, and that is CMOS. Every Vlsi company working on CMOS, so have your 2 or 3 days reserved to know much advanced thing on CMOS than your academic are. Like FinFET, we never deal with FinFET in theoretical level. During working on project, we may use FinFET, but we don't know what's the difference between FinFET and normal FET FET. So try to learn about those things, FinFETs. And then there are many terms like GIDL, BIDL, what's they mean, try to learn that thing. Like new technologies coming all around gate, try to know about this thing. Then we are trying to give power from backside, like this is your substrate and we want like use backside also to power delivery for efficiency of the chips. So if you know these topics, and every company, be it Intel, Qualcomm or any company, they are working on it. So anytime you give your answer to CMOS, because in Vlsi company one question will be from CMOS, and when you are giving that answer, you bring down those keywords and connect those keywords with their work. By this way you can simply show your knowledge, and also you can show how interested you are for their company. So is it not a master stroke? It will definitely increase your chance many-fold, because CMOS is Vlsi and Vlsi is CMOS. Without CMOS you can't see me and I can't talk with you also. So CMOS is so much important. You can't do anything of this thing, like you don't have the skill to connect one question with their interest in their company, then also you have chance, and that is last of your interview. During last of interview, every time, 100% of time they will ask you, do you have any question for us? And this question is the golden chance for you to show the interest. And don't stop with one question, always have 2 to 3 questions related to that company and bombard yourself to the interviewer about those questions. And nowadays few semiconductor company also maintain their YouTube channel to explain about those exciting technology. For example, Intel has their dedicated YouTube channel where they explain about everything which is newcomer. Like for example, recently they have launched Alder Lake 12th generation processor. So there they have few video like how the architecture, how the Herbit architecture is working there. Like a new term in CMOS is ribbon FET. So Intel YouTube channel has the simplified definition like how it is working, and in an interview we need that simplified explanation only. So what I'll do, I'll see if I have those link and I'll pin them in description. We are now at first part, and it is really for technical interview not so important. But if your knowledge are same with some other person, and in this aspect like you show that you are the person what they need, then if your knowledge is little down also, then also they will select you. So by this sense this is important. So in matrix 1C they want to know you, right? And for that, for any company they always ask you, like in technical especially, 1 or 2 question in the beginning which is not directly to your technical knowledge. And why they are asking, why they are doing time pass, they have the reason, and reason is that they want to know what are the public or soft skill you have. Confidence and sincerity are the most important skills, and confidence is directly proportional to what? It is directly proportional to your CV. If your CV you know 100%, then you will feel confident. So see what's the importance of your CV. Never ignore your CV, right? And by other thing also, like if you have done co-curricular activity, but we don't have time because our interview are in 10 or 15 days. And your sincerity in a 30 to 40 minutes interview, interviewer have no time to judge how sincere you are. And it is true, the main parameter of sincerity is your CGPA. It is harsh for those who have low CGPA, but it is the fact. And other thing you can do, like you can see this video, like how to tackle your online interview. This thing you can do, and you can add on your sincerity, like joining on time, having a proper dress up, right? And then having a open posture, not like this thing, he is asking something and you are fidgeting here and there. Nothing. Be relaxed, straight, have a smile. Those things will add value to your interview, like in fast matrix. And be clear, fast matrix is just the icing on your cake, and cake is your part 2 and part 3. So if your cake is super fine and if you don't have ice, like you are not good at communication, you're confident, needed actually. Other thing is not so okay, then also if your 2 or 3 part is great, then you will get a job. But if you have time, like if you have 1 year time from now you are watching this video, then try to develop this thing. I hope you got some value from this video, and every week I bring out video like this to help you in your career. So why don't you subscribe my channel, and please help me and your friend with sharing this video, those who need. Bye bye, and see you in next video. Take care.